Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Zoe Sarada. Just in case you're coming across my video for the first time, and if you're a returning subscriber, I appreciate you coming back to watch me do my thing, whatever the thing is. So on today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a t-shirt pattern. So basically, what you're going to need are your pen or marker, whichever it is. But I'm going to be using a pen and a marker to do my drafting and marker to highlight. We also have our measurements, our tape rule, French curve, and ruler. Let's get into this, you guys. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take out 2.5 inches for where your button is going to sit and where your buttonhole is going to go. Mind you, if you do not want to use like the same material for your buttonhole place where it's supposed to be, you can use a different material and take your measurement like on a normal. So I'm just going to rule my line now. You guys keep in mind that I'm using my own measurement to do this, so when you're doing yours you use your own measurement. But for this 2.5 inches for the buttonhole, that's like a must. Nobody, it's not going anywhere for anybody. But when we start main measurements, we are using my measurement, so you want to use your measurement. And keep in mind also that mistakes can be made, and because you are drafting a pattern, it can be corrected, so don't freak out about it. Okay guys, so I'm just going to take my measurement from my shoulder to my bust, and that be 12. And then you take your measurement from your shoulder to your under bust, and for me it's 15, so I'm just going to mark it down. So what you want to do is just take your tape from your shoulder and measure where the places I'm calling, from your shoulder to your bust, shoulder to under bust, and then we're going to do shoulder to hip. So you just keep that in mind. So I got a comment on my other video saying they couldn't really see like what I was drafting, so I decided to use like a marker to highlight when I'm done like with the pen. Okay, so now we're going to take measurements from our shoulder to our hip measurement, depending on how like long you want the shirt to be. That's how long your pattern should be. But for us right now, for me, this is going to be a 23. I'm just gonna go with 23, and I think 23 is kind of okay. I can add lengths later when I'm cutting on the main fabric, but for now we have 23, and that's what we're going to be using for the hip measurements. So okay, yeah, so you might be wondering why I'm doing all this is because I don't want to use the marker and then end up like messing something up. So I'll just use the pen and then highlight with the marker. So first we're going to do our shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 14, so 14 into 2 is 7. That 1 inch right there, well, I was going to do a bigger shoulder because I wanted it to kind of fall, but I just decided 7 was just better. Let's just use 7. Okay, so if you want to add 1 inch to your shoulder measurement for ease, that's fine. So we're going to go down here by I just wanted to like label this so you guys don't get confused. So this is bust length and bust measurement, that's on the bust, and that place is going to be the hip, like I said, the hip part of it. So yeah, so we don't get confused. Now you know what we're working with, right? Okay, so we're going to make a chest line now. um we're going to make a chest line now, so I'm going to go up here by 2, but first I want to be able to get accurately what I'm lining on. So I'm just going to go down here and measure 7, just like we measured on the top side of the pattern, and then we'll go up by 2 inches. This is basically like the best way you could get a straight forward line without the missing the mark. So I'm just going to go in here and just place it on that dot where the 2 stops. Don't go past it like I did. Just stop at the dot there, right there. Then you take your chest line from there. Just rule a straight line from that line you've gotten. So you guys, this is going to be our chest line. Yeah, to get our armhole. So we're going to make now a the neckline. So I'm going in here by 4. You guys remember that that part where the 2 inches is invisible to you, right? You're not using it to do anything right now, so just leave it as it is. And I'm going to go in here by we're going to do this 2.5 by 3.5. That's what we're going to do for the neckline. 2.5 by 3.5. If you want yours to be deeper, you can make it deeper, but I just think this is the best. 2.5 by 3.5, or you could do it a 3.5 by 3.5. Whichever one you want is your choice, really. So now we've gotten the armhole side, we've gotten the chest line, and we've gotten the neckline. Next thing we're gonna do, you guys, is get the shoulder slope. Just highlighting so you can see clearly. Tell me if you guys can see clearly, like better when I highlight. So we're just going to first get our shoulder slope before anything. So we're just going to go down here by 1 inch. 1 inch, but you can go down by half an inch, you can go down by 3/4 of an inch. Whatever you decide to go down by for your shoulder slope, it's fine by you. For me, I'm gonna go down by 1 inch, and that's what I'm gonna be using. Yeah. So that's our shoulder slope, and then you're going to just take the midpoint of this armhole, try to find the midpoint of it to get your armhole. That's for sure. So you just place it here, you don't go up anymore, you place it from where the shoulder slope starts. And for me right now, this is 8.5 slash, yeah, 8.5 for me right now. So I'm gonna just count So I'm gonna count from 1, 2, 3, 4, just to find the midpoint. Really, 1, 2, 4. So the midpoint of this is 5. We could make it 4.5, but I just wanted it to be 5 on the dot. So yeah, I did the 5, and then you go in by half an inch on this. Go in by half an inch, or you could go in by 3/4 of an inch, whichever one you fancy, it's fine. And then you want to draw like a line from where your shoulder slope starts to where that point meets the, yeah, that one right there. You just want to, if you don't have like a straight ruler like me, please buy one. If you have a curved ruler, you could also use that to get your curves. But yeah, we're just going to use a French curve for this now, seeing as I don't have the actual curve ruler for this. I'm just going to use my straight ruler and my French curve. If you don't have like the curve ruler, like the hip curve or the armhole curve, then it's fine. You could just do this. It works. It works. You just make it look really not so sharp at the edge. Okay, now we're going to go in and measure our bust measurement on the chest line. Now, you guys, I'm so sorry that I did not like label this, but this now is the chest line, and my bust is 40. 40 into 2 is like 10, so we're going to do a 10. And then I'm adding 1 inch for my sewing allowance. I'm just, remember again that that part right there where the 2 inches starts from is invisible to you, so you want to start from the line and measure. So I'm measuring my 10 now from that line there, not the edge anymore of the pattern paper, the where your 2 inches stops, actually, like the line there. That's what you want to do. And then 10, and then 1 inch for sewing allowance, and then I have my 1.5 inch for seam allowance. You could decide to make it 2, or you could decide to make it 3, depending on how big the person is. So we're going to go to the underbust. We're ignoring that bust line entirely, just ignore it. So we're going to go underbust and then take our underbust measurements. Our underbust, for me, my underbust is going to be a 8.5. Yeah, my underbust is going to be 8.5 because my underbust measurement is like a twin, like a 33. So 33 is actually 8.25, but I just wanted it to be 8.5. So I'll also go in here by 1 inch for sewing allowance, and then I'll go in here by 1.5 inch as well. Whatever you're giving for your seam allowance should be the same all the way through. So if you're giving 1 inch for everything, 1 inch should be for everything. So we're going to go in here, the hip line, and we're going to put in our measurements. So what you want to do is take your bust measurement and divide it by 4 as well. So I divided mine by 4, but I decided to add 1 more inch to make it 11. So the hip side is going to be bigger than the bust part. But if you want to do this, if you want to do this, you just want to measure only 10. It's fine. So I measured 11, and then I added 1 inch for sewing allowance and 1.5 inch for seam allowance as well. I pray you guys understand. So I'm just going to highlight this now so you understand, like, and you see properly, because I can actually see that the pen doesn't really show on this. Sorry, pen doesn't really show on this much, so I'm going to highlight. and everything shows now. So you guys, if you got to this part of the video, please hit the subscribe button. It helps a lot, and leave a like and leave a comment. Your comment could be anything and nothing sassy, but at the same time, like if you have a question you can ask, or yeah, just leave a comment and leave a like, and you can also share this, you guys. Thank you very much. Okay, back to this. So again, if you have a curved ruler, if you have a hip curve ruler, you best use it, because a straight ruler is only going to give you a straight line, and humans are not as straight as they could be. Okay, so you want to just join all those last lines together, all the 1.5 inches that we left. That's what you want to do. You can use this to get like a curve at that edge, but I'm just going to use my hand to just try to curve it out, make it look curvy. So yeah, that's it for the front pattern. And don't forget your neck, you guys. I almost forgot. Okay, so we're just going to go in here by 1 inch, or you could do 1.5, depending on what you want, or you could do a freehand and just give it a curve, because that's basically what it's going to be. Give it a curve and then just roll a line through. So you guys, this is everything for the front pattern. I'm just going to leave this here for some time before I cut. So you just look through. If you have any questions that you have for me, you can ask in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer. So we're going to cut this now, you guys. You should cut exactly how I cut, and don't forget to label your pattern, because there could be mistakes made. So label your pattern, whatever you want to label it, just label it. And now we're going to cut exactly how I cut, you guys. So you notice here that I actually went like a half or tiny piece of an inch away from what I did for the neck, because I wanted my neck to be deeper. So we're just going to cut this now. Please, you guys, cut exactly how I'm cutting, so you don't miss or mar anything. Okay guys, so that's it for the cutting on the front. You see where our 2 inches is, right? Okay, so now we're going to cut the back pattern of this. As you can see, you guys, that straight line followed me all the way through. So if you have a curved hip ruler, please use it. So we're going to cut the back now. We're going to use the front to cut the back, and this time around the back is not going to have like that 2 inches that we left for the front. So what we're going to do is fold it in and make sure it stays in till we're done with the back pattern. So this is what we're using for the back, another calendar. You guys, there's something I wanted to let you know. You don't have to use like a pattern paper. If you don't have a pattern paper, or you don't have money to buy a pattern paper, or you just don't have a pattern paper period around you, you could use a newspaper, you could use a calendar, an old one. Don't let nobody spank you. You could use an old calendar. You could use whatever you see around you that looks big enough to draw a pattern on and clear enough for you to see when you want to transfer. You can use that, it's fine. So I'm actually using a calendar for this. Just wanted to let you guys know. Yes, it's a calendar. So here on the shoulder side, it's supposed to be 2 inches, but I wanted mine to be just 1 inch. Just 1 inch is fine, you guys, for me. But you can do 2 inches if you please. So yeah. So I'm going to fold this now to meet the not on top of the not on top of the front pattern, just to meet that shoulder slope there, just to meet that shoulder slope. And that's how we're going to get our shoulder slope for the back. You just bend it so it meets like the back front part of the shoulder slope, you guys. That's how we're also going to get our neckline. So what you want to do is fold and be careful. So you just take your marker or pen, whatever it is you're using, and just trace out that, we did 2.5 inches for breadth. So on this part, we're just going to trace that out. And the back pattern for the back is going to be like 1 inch. Instead of now making it like a three something, you're going to make it 1 inch. 1 inch. So you're doing 1 inch by 2.5 inches. That's what we're doing. So you just draw out a straight line and then make your curve. Again, you could use your curved ruler or you could just trace this out. And that's how we get the back neck. You guys keep in mind that we are not adding 2.5 inches for this. Back doesn't have buttonhole attached to it. It's just a normal bag, so we're just going to do that. And we're also going to cut this out now. Remember, 2.5 inches by 1 inch. And be careful when you're cutting this. Again, you guys, if you make any mistakes, you can literally start a new one because it's a pattern paper, right? Okay, so now we're going to fold again to see how well it stays, and we're also going to now cut our shoulder slope. I'm just going to go in here by 1 inch. The only difference between the front and back pattern is the neckline and the armhole line. So your armhole is going to be 1 inch deeper than the front of your pattern, and then the neck, of course, you've seen is going to be smaller because that's how it's supposed to be. You're making a t-shirt, remember? So if you're making something else and you wanted like a V, that would have been different. But since we're making a t-shirt, we need this to rhyme. So after measuring that and seeing that it's like what it is, I'm just going to cut now my shoulder slope. Okay, you guys, keep in mind that the armhole for the back is literally 1 inch bigger than the front. That's just it. Or you can make it 1/2 inch depending on how deep you want the armhole to be for the back, and you could just trace the remaining things out. That's basically it for the back pattern. You can make, remember, you can make the back 1 inch deeper, or you could just do it like half or 3/4 of an inch, and that's it really for this. That's the back right there. Again, you guys, please do not forget to subscribe. Thank you so much. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. That would also help me understand what you don't understand. Okay, so this is the front and the back pattern of it. You see how the necks are different. In my next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to cut the collars and also how to cut a basic sleeve, just in case you're interested. Stay tuned to see that. So this is the front pattern and that is the back pattern, you guys. So yeah, that's everything. Hope you try this for yourself. You guys, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. Don't forget to love yourself because I love you. Have a beautiful day. Mwah! Bye.